Alright guys, so welcome along then to round 4 of the first season we're having here on F1 2020 with All Stars Racing F1 League. So we're here at China for this weekend. So it's going to be the Chinese Grand Prix. It's going to be 28 laps around Shanghai. So we're into qualifying 1 now with 15 drivers currently in the session. I think we'll be having some late entries before we get to the race, so look forward to that. And let's get on with this session. Let's get some stats up and let's see what the guys are going to be able to do in this qualifying session here. Remember, they need to make it over to Q2 and then all the way to Q3 if you want to be starting in the top 10 on track here. So we got a lot of cars getting out on track right now. So Milan here spinning it off there. Cold tires, let's call it on that one, or just losing the rear end just a little bit. He's still going though, but it's just his out lap, so not too bad. Didn't take any damage from that one. Milan had a pretty good race last week at Vietnam, finishing up in P3. Was a very close one, would have been P2 if he had just maybe one or two more laps to go. So let's see how well he does in this session here. Of course, he's still going to have mistaken youth to deal with as he had last week. We have Sadistic King was driver of the day last week as well. Let's see if he can pull that off again. And yeah, we do have Irish New Potato as well there in P10. Well, we haven't had any time setters yet, but he did get P1 in the last session. Going a little bit off track, warming those tires, so let's see how well that works for him. Losing it a bit there. That's gonna spoil that lap. Alright, so quite a few cars on track. We're going to start to get some hot laps going in now. And that is Milan out of the session. Let's see who's further up the field. I know we have a mistaken youth going on his lap right now. Let's see what kind of time he's going to bring in though. Pretty interesting to see between mistaken youth and Irish here who's gonna be starting this race in P1, but let's see how this goes. Still got just about 14.5 minutes to go for this qualifying session here, guys, but it's going to be interesting. Let's see how well drivers are going to do on this track. This straight down at the back here is just about a kilometer long. It does, you know, it's a pretty long straight, pretty good for overtaking if you have the straight line speed on your car, depending on what your setup is, but it is a pretty tight hairpin coming down to the end there. But let's see mistaken youth if he does put a time in here. Provided he didn't invalidate, did he? Yeah, he might have invalidated that there. It did go red. So just maybe a few more minutes, I'm going to start to see some really good times coming in. Hopefully. I'm not sure if we're having a dry race today or a wet one. Did hear the guys talking a bit during their practice session about wet setup, so let's see how well this goes. If we are having a wet race, that's going to be quite interesting, especially for China. So Kenny here, new driver in the league. Let's see how well he does this weekend. So sometimes I've come in with Irish New Potato on top of the field with a 130.6. We got MX in P2 right now with a 131.6. Just about a second slower than Irish. J Dunk with a 131.8, Trem with a 132.5, and Jay with a 133.7. Quite a few more times will be coming in pretty soon, so let's see how it goes as the session goes by. Alright guys, so just confirming, I was just checking the report room on the league's Discord. It does seem that Milan has a qualifying ban for this week because of an incident from last week. So that's why he had to retire his car off track. So he will not be in the rest of the qualifying session, which means he'll be starting down at the back. So let's see how well he does this week on that one. That'll be very interesting to see. I wouldn't be surprised if he still ends up out front fighting with our leaders. But let's see how that one's going to go for this week. So still at least half of the field yet to set some lap times in order to make it over to qualifying 2. Iris still holds P1 here with a 130.6. Pretty good time from him. It's only 130 we have so far. MX pretty close with it though, but yes, it was still a second slower. He's on another outlap right now, so he's going to try as much as he can to improve on that time. Jadong still in P3. Kenny is up to P4 now with a 132.4 debut in the league, and Tram is 132.5. Superman 132.7 P6. Artness is 133.2 is P7. T-Pang is up into P8 right now with J down to P9. So some guys are going to be moving up, some are going to be moving down as the session progresses, and we just have just under 10 minutes left for qualifying 1 here. We have Liverpool just about to start a hot lap here now, going around the last few corners. That's sadistic. Our driver of the day from last week, I think he's on his hot lap going here right now as we go aboard with him. Let's see how the China actually is. We did miss the first turn here, but it is a pretty interesting turn. These few corners coming up do require some precision in terms of getting in and out of the turns and the fastest you can to get back on this straight going. As you're heading down here, coming down to a left-handed turn, then going to a right-hander to hit the 1 kilometer long straight. That's at the back of the track here. This turn is a little tricky, especially when you're on worn tires or if you're running in the wet. How to get through with it. This is the very long back straight of the track, 1 kilometer long, and comes down to a very interesting hairpin turn down at the end. It's a right-hander, not always easy to get right. You might sometimes overshoot it if you try to outbrake someone going for an overtake move into that corner there. But let's see what kind of time Sadistic is going to be getting here. And he's up to P4 with a 131.7. Pretty good on him for that. And we still have Liverpool, Mistaken Youth, and CB yet to make lap times here. So far so good for qualifying 1, just under 8 minutes to go. Got CB on an outlap right now. Mistaken Youth has put a time in, but it is so far off. Oh, and there goes CB into that wall. He surely has damage off of that. So that's his lap messed up there, and he was just on an outlap at least. So he's gonna have to really get back and try to just work and get a better lap in. He has enough time to get back into the pits and do it, because we're still just under 7 minutes left in the session to go here. Because remember, there are only 15 drivers in this session. Milan had to take himself out of it because of his quali ban. So that leaves about 14 there. So not too much of these guys are going to be moving on to qualifying 2. And of course, this is China. You want to get the best start possible that you can get, because this track is a little hard on tires, as most of us would know driving on it. It's not an easy track, especially depending on your setup that you're using. You got to really be careful with that. It doesn't look like CB took any damage off that, but he did go into the wall just a little bit, so I'm not sure if he did take damage. Apparently he didn't, because he is going for a lap there, but I think he just invalidated that. So that's going to be out of question there for him. Let's see, Artness is trying to make a better lap time here as well, as he just starts his hot lap going around the track, going around turn 1 here. It's a pretty interesting turn. Not always easy to get right. And there goes Jay spinning around that, losing the back end there. That does tend to happen a lot. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see the first lap of this race when we get underway with the race session, how exactly these drivers are going to tackle it. Let's see who else is. So Liverpool is now P2 with a 131.5. Pretty good on him. He is in the pits right now. I'm not sure if he's going to be trying to beat Irish's time of 130.6, but he did put a pretty good time in, so good job from him. MX is now down to P3 because of that. Night Shadow in P4 there right now. Citistick down to P5 now. J-Dunks is right behind him. Kenny P7. Trem, Soupman, Artness, T-Pang, J, Mistaken Youth. So CB is the only driver yet to set any sort of lap time in. Let's see what he's up to right now. I'm not sure if he's still on a hot lap here, because I think he did invalidate. Because as I see, the circuit map is red, which should mean that he invalidated at the start of this lap. But let's... Oh, and there he goes, losing it again. Oh, and that's into the wall. He definitely lost front wing there now. He's going to have to go to the pits, reset, and get back out here again. Not going too well for CB right now. He does need to get a lap time in and see where he fits in on the field before the Q1 is over. Otherwise, he will not be making it over to Q2. But let's see how this goes. We did have CB on the stream with us last week for the most part of the race, basically, after he was taken out. So maybe he'll join us again if he doesn't make it. But let's see how this session goes on. Because he does, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get in and get out back to make a lap time here. It's going to be a pretty close call if he can get back out to him, because it's already just 3 minutes 40 seconds left in the session here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do this one. But let's see if he gets back out. If he doesn't get back out here, it means that he is going to be sticking with that time that he has did. We're just keeping an eye on him. Just about 3 minutes left. I think he might be able to get back out and pull at least just one more lap. during this session. Alright, and that is CB going back out, so he is going to try and make another lap time in. So let's see what CB can do. Come on, CB. I think you can make a pretty good lap time, getting maybe at least halfway in the field. But let's see how well he does. He's going to have to get around here as fast as possible just to make sure that our timer doesn't run out before he gets to the finish line to start his hot lap. He has 2 minutes 14 seconds, so that's enough time to do it. So definitely we're just going to keep an eye on him and let's see how he goes. Everyone else is currently in the pits, probably just watching CB drive around this track right now. Jay is, I think he is on a lap right now. Yeah, he is. So he is now in the pits. Everyone else probably going to be retiring out of the session because they're satisfied with their time. I don't think anyone else can get out to make another lap time in. It's just going to be CB. So all eyes on him right now as he goes around in the black Mercedes. Let's see what kind of time he's going to pull in when he does begin the actual lap. Hopefully he does not invalidate this lap and he does get a pretty good time in. Let's see how we can do. Mistaken Youth sticking with a 2 minute 3 seconds out of the session. I'm not sure if he had a ban for anything as well, but this is going to be pretty interesting going into Q2. Alright, so he didn't invalidate the beginning of this lap again. He's going pretty good so far. Let's see how well he finishes now as he does begin his lap going around. We're right on board with CB as he goes around. So get a full lap of China. I think he's trying to be as careful as possible just not to cut the track right now. Because remember guys, the rules for corner cutting are on strict. So any little minor, cutting that we do get penalties for it, so we have to be extra super careful in qualifying and in the race as well, because penalties do add up at the end of the race and can cost you positions. We've seen it happen multiple times before. Good job on Irish so far for keeping P1 with a 130, the only 130 in the session. If he can do that for the next 2 sessions, he will be starting P1. Let's see how well CB will be doing. That is the end of qualifying. Everyone else is finished with their laps. It's only CB out on track right now. So by the time he gets finished, that's going to be the end. And we go on to Q2. Let's see if CB can actually make it into Q2 here. I think we have Battery racing on the road right now to get home. Hopefully he's driving carefully. And there he is. Battery has joined the session. Welcome, Battery. Good to see you and have you on the track now. So he has missed out on qualifying. So he was starting right there. Let's see. Okay, so CB went 13th with a 135.8. And that is the end of qualifying 1 here at Shanghai, China. It does look a bit cloudy. I'm really wondering if it's going to be a wet race or dry race. I'm not going to ask the drivers. Even if they do tell me in the Discord, I'm not going to mention it here. Let's just keep that a surprise to see how well. Let's just see what kind of race we're going to be having when it comes down to the race session, if it's going to be wet or dry. It would be interesting to see a wet race here though. Even starting on inters going and maybe drying out halfway through the track. Or starting dry and getting wet halfway through the track. Let's see how it goes. We could have something like that happening. Definitely we'll be anticipating some safety cars if that does happen. A few VSCs. So guys, end of qualifying 1. Pretty good session. Good job from everyone. Liverpool with a pretty good time there. MX with a pretty good time as well. Let's see if these guys can take it over to the next session. Again, guys, you can look at the lap times that the drivers do post, and you do know the level at which they drive here, because coming down to Q3, we're going to have some pretty close times. We have quite a few guys in the 131s, a few of them are in 132s, and we have some 133s. Unfortunately, CB didn't get a good enough time in to make it all the way up there, as well as Mistaken Youth. And Suitman did a 132.7 on mediums. Or at least so it seems. Okay, so that is how the session is going. So this is going to be the 15 drivers making it over to Q2. Just going to snap just in case we do get any disconnection. We need to know what's happening. Okay, so it's just Milan down in P15 there. Don't need that. Yeah, so he has a quali ban. Didn't get to do anything in qualifying. He just had to retire his car due to an incident reported for last week's race. He did put on quite a drive though in last week's session, so but he's gonna have to work extra hard and put on much more of a better show this week to get from 15th all the way up, well 16th maybe. So let's see. Alright, getting telemetries back on. Again, Milan will have to retire. He cannot participate in the session. He's going to be starting 15th. We'll be mentioning that quite a lot. And let's see how well he does from 15th coming all the way up to the grid. Maybe for him, if he doesn't take too many pit stops this week, he'll be able to make it all the way up there for the battle for a P1 or 2. So quite a few cars getting out on track. First car out is... There's someone else in front of CB already out on track. That is the Williams of Sadistic. Once again, he was our driver of the day last week. Good job on him for that. Making it to Q2 now, so let's see if he can make it all the way to Q3. An Irish Noon Potato disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. What have you done, Irish? So guys, in case you don't know, in Formula 1, if a driver drives in the wrong direction on track, they get disqualified from the session. So that's is just what just happened with Irish there. I'm not sure if he purposely was driving the wrong way, but maybe we'll get some more info on that in a second. Let's see. And something has happened. I think that was one of the Alfa Romeos. Is that Superman? No, it wasn't. That was Artemis. That has to be Artemis out there. Do have a yellow flag in Sector 3 where that incident has happened. Not sure exactly what happened to Artemis there, but did get involved in some sort of incident, maybe with another car, or with maybe the wall. Could have been the wall. We have MX here going on a hot lap. Let's see what kind of time he makes. Oh, and he does get a purple sector 1. So going so good so far. We don't have any lap times posted as yet though. So whatever time you get for sector one is gonna be purple if you're the first guy to go on a hot lap here. So let's see where he finishes though. Okay, so let's see. My eyes were off the screen for just a second there. Okay, so we have Liverpool with a 131, P1. Superman took P2 with a 131.6. MX took P3 with a 132.8. And Sadistic just behind MX with a 132.9. Just 1/10 of a second. Kenny in P5 with a 133. So we got 131s, 2s, and 3s going so far. Let's do switch to another driver and let's see what's happening here. So here we go. We have T-Pound. The guy that usually gets driver of the day didn't get it last week. Let's see if he can pull it off this week with his AlphaTauri there. Alright, so T-Pang should be beginning his hot lap through Shanghai here right now. So just about quarter of the field giving some lap times in. We still got about 9 minutes left in the session for drivers to get a lap time in. So let's see which 10 drivers are going to be making it over to Q3, sorry. And let's see how this racing will start. Now remember guys, this is Q2, that's qualifying 2, so whatever tires you do set your fastest lap time on, that's the set of tires that you're going to have to start your race with. Going for the top 10 here. That is, once you make it into the top 10. I think that was T-Pound with a purple sector 1. Let's see if he can do it for the next 2 sectors and get a pretty good time in, and probably he's gonna hit Liverpool out of there if he can make a 130. He's definitely gonna need to make a 130 to do this. And let's see how much power that AlphaTauri has in it. He's getting on that throttle as soon as he can going. Alright, coming on to the last few corners. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of time T-Pound can put in here. Might have just drifted that car just a little bit going around that hairpin there. He only got a purple sector 1, but it does put him up in the P6 with a 134. One exact 134. That's pretty good so far. Mistaken you just below him though with a 134.2. So just a few drivers out of this session. A lot of drivers still yet to set some time. Oh guys, give me 1 second. We might be having a glitch, so we're probably going to be restarting a session here. We'll be off screen for just about a minute and a half or so. Give me a second. Okay, so apologies about that, but we did have some glitches happening with drivers, so session is going to be restarted. And I think it looks like we're going to be doing a short qualifying instead of a full qualifying session. Just give the drivers just a few minutes to get their cars sorted and everyone to get their settings back in, and we'll be underway in just a few minutes. Alright guys, so welcome along then once again back to the Chinese Grand Prix here in the Shanghai International Circuit with All Stars Racing F1 League. We did have a restart on this session because we had some glitches happening with drivers on track. So anyway, we're doing a short qualifying this round going. It's going to be 18 minutes. And let's see how well drivers do. So we have 16 drivers in the session. We got Trem, Liverpool, MX, Sadistic, Superman, Artemis, J Dunk, Milan, J Hartnell, Irish, T-Pound, Night Shadow, Mistaken Youth, Kenny Batterby, and CB. Alright, so quite a few guys going out on track. We're gonna follow them around and let's see what kind of lap times they put in. Gonna be pretty interesting to see how it goes this time around. Do apologize about having to restart the session. We will edit off the first part of the video and it will be started from here by the time everyone does watch it after the stream. Hey there, Gridstone32. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate the support. It's always fun to watch these guys race. I love doing the races. Let's see how it's going here. Let's see who should we follow around the track first. We're currently on Sadistic going. Let's see. CB's on outlap as well with his black Mercedes. Let's see what kind of time everyone's going to put in here. It's going to be a pretty interesting race, I think. Once again, I'm not sure if we're having a wet race or a dry race. The previous session did look a little bit cloudy, as if it was going to rain in the race session. I'm not sure. But let's see how the guys do in the next 15.5 minutes for qualifying here, and then we get straight on to the race. It is a pretty good view of Shanghai coming down this straight here if you do have a look at the circuit as it is. Also, always has been an interesting track to drive, coming along the long back straight there, going around this apex. It's so difficult sometimes to get that apex right, especially when you're racing and you're trying to, go take the inside line and do a little late braking to overtake someone during a race session. It's always so hard to get that, correct. Once again, guys, I should mention Milan is not going to be participating in the qualifying session because he does have a quali ban that happened from a incident that occurred on track for last week's race at Vietnam. That was one heck of a race. If you guys haven't seen it, do check it out on the channel. It is there, Vietnam Grand Prix. It was, amazing race. I got to say that there was a battle going down right all the way down to the end. A pretty good drive from quite a few of the guys here. Everyone did pretty well actually for that entire race, but it was a pretty good battle. Milan did pretty well. They're doing a lot of catching up, breaking down that 15-second gap last week in just a few laps. So let's see what he's going to be doing this week, because he's going to be starting all the way down at the back, that's in 16th. But so he has quite a lot of positions to make up. He did take quite a few pit stops because of broken wings in the last session. Hopefully he doesn't have to do that again. So he will be out there up front fighting for the lead and fighting to get some more championship points for this entire season. Now once again, it is the first season for the league on F1 2020. So guys, there are a lot of glitches that do happen. So some decent lap times in so far, guys. We got Superman with a 132.5, which is the fastest lap so far. Irish with a 132.5 as well. Pretty close to Superman there. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how those two fight it out to start P1 in this session. Sadistic does have a 132.6 as well. So pretty close as well. Battery in P4, another 132. So quite a few 132s going. Let's see who's going to come out on top of it though. Oh, and that is Night Shadow with the fastest lap now, 132.4, just about 1/10 off. It is so close between these guys from P1 going all the way down to P7 here. Then we got CB Stars at 134 is going down. So let's see how well of time Liverpool, J-Dung, T-Pang, and Mistaken Youth are going to get coming to the end of this session. They're all still in the pits except for T-Pang, I think, who is currently on a lap going. But let's see where he does get out coming to the end of his lap. Just 10 minutes left in this qualifying session. It was an 18-minute session, guys, so just 10 minutes more left. Not a lot of time, not a lot of laps more you can put in here, so you just need to get it right, not invalidate, and get a really good time to, you know, get a good starting position on track. Because being on the back of the grid at a start here is not good at China, especially coming down into turn 1, because some cars are going to be fighting to take the inside, some cars are going to be fighting to take the outside line. So it's always interesting to see what drivers choose to do in terms of turn 1 the way it is. Interesting to see Irish in P3 right now. Well, let's see if he can make a better time than that. He is currently on track going here. Let's see how this is going to come down coming down to the end. And he does take P1 with that 131.4, so that's a pretty good lap on him. MX is still in P2 though with a 132.3 there now. Doing pretty well in that Ferrari so far. Sidisic does move up one position. That's a pretty good lap time. Not easy getting into these 132s and 131s right now. So these guys are pushing pretty hard. We got Superman on an outlap right now, so he's going to be putting on another time soon. We still got Jade and Mistaken Youth yet to put a time in. Got Trem in his Renault going around. He's done about 3 laps already. He has a 134.1, but he has some improvement to do there if he wants to get further up the field for the start. It does appear that he probably invalidated that lap though, so he'll probably have to have another go in the next 4 minutes if he have enough fuel to do it again. I'm not sure. He does have fuel to go for another lap there, so he's gonna have to work on doing that. Got J-Dunk on an out lap right now. Mistaken Youth still in the pits. Not sure if he's gonna be coming out to make another lap time, make any lap time as yet. Jaden currently on his hot lap. Let's see how well he does for the session. So Irish still holds P1. Liverpool is up to P2 now with a 131.6. Pretty good job on him. Just about 2 tenths off of Irish. MX with a 132.3. Night Shadow 132.4. Sadistic a 132.4 as well. Oh, and that is so close. Superman 132.5. Batterby 132.6. Artemis with a 132.6 as well. These guys are so close together. There's so many 132s going all the way down to I think it's Kenny in P9. First top 9 guys are all in the 131s and 2s. It's just 2 guys we have in the 131s though. Those are pretty fast lap times. Not that easy to beat. Mistaken Youth still in the pits. No lap time from him. As long as J-Dunk doesn't invalidate this one, he will have a lap time posted in. But let's see where he does go on the field. Alright, so excellent lap from J Dunk. Took himself up into P3 with a 131.9. So all the way up into the 139, 131, sorry. Oh, that's a pretty good time. Mistaken Youth is currently on an out lap, so he's going to try and get at least one lap in to get at least a good lap time in. And let's see if he can do that. He might just be able to, probably just trying to be a little dramatic down to the end of the session, getting maybe P1 or 2 for the final lap as we come to the end of qualifying here in just a minute and 20 seconds to go. We're gonna go on to we also have Battery Artemis on an outlap there as well. This is Mistaken You going around here. Let's see how he does. So him and CB are teammates here for Mercedes AMG Petronas F1 team. So let's see what these guys can do. So CB is currently P13 for the 133.6. Does look like he will be starting there. Mistaken Youth has one and just, I mean, only one chance here to make a good lap time in and get himself all the way up there for the start of the Chinese Grand Prix. And let's see if he can do it. Coming down to the last few corners right now. We're just going to stay in an overhead view and let's see if he can avoid invalidating this lap and getting a good time in. No pressure, but most of the field is watching his lap right now. And here he goes across the line. Did he get a time in? Doesn't look so. He probably... What happened? Or he's starting... Oh, he's starting the lap now. My bad. I thought he just messed that lap up somehow, but he's starting his hot lap now as we come to the end of qualifying here at Shanghai, China. And that is the end. Anyone on a hot lap will be able to finish it and post whatever time they do on that one. And that's going to be it for qualifying here at China. I think the only guy we have out is Mistaken You trying to make a lap time in right now. We're going to ride on board with him around China just so we can see how well he's going to do here as he takes these corners going. Does use a little bit of the curbs going around just to gain some time and, you know. Oh, and that's a purple sector too, so this might be a pretty good lap coming off of Mistaken Youth right now. Let's see what's going to happen down to the end. Let's see how well he does in sector 3. A very long back straight here. It does seem it might be a dry race. Alright guys, so that was the dramatic ending that Mistaken Youth was hoping for. He just put himself up into P1 with a 131. And that's about 4 tenths better than Battery with it. Battery did a 131.4. That puts Irish down to P3 now at a 131.4 as well. Liverpool starting P4. J-Dunk is P5. Superman P6. MX is P7. Night Shadow P8. Sadistic P9. Artemis P10. Kenny P11. J is P12. T-Pound P13, CB14, Trem 15, and Milan will be starting down in 16th as he could not have participated in the session. And now we will be heading straight into the race session. Should be an interesting, close to an hour race or so, I should say, for 28 laps here in at the Shanghai International Circuit. Anyway, guys, this track is pretty hard on tires, so it looks like we might have a late addition to this race. He will be starting from the back if he does get in, but let's see if he can get in. I think Beer might be joining us. for the session. If he can get to choose a car for the session before the race does begin, he will be able to start from the back. And that is qualifying as it goes. In 20 seconds or so, we will head straight on to the race and get on for the formation lap. And then 28 laps more to go. Let's see how many battles we get to follow today. Let's see who's going to crash out. If we're going to have a safety car, maybe a few VSCs. Anything can happen here at China. It's always an interesting race. Okay, so we should be getting underway, and Beer has joined the session, so he will be an addition to the race there. That's one more driver. Pretty good guy driving. Let's see how well he does in the race here as well. As he didn't get to participate in qualifying, he will have to start at the back, along with Milan. So the two of them should be fighting it out. Let's see who's going to get out in front first, and let's see how turn 1 and 2 go for this track. Because it's always fun to see what's happening. Who's going to go wide, who's going to go in the inside, who's going to spin, and who's going to lose maybe a part of the front wing. Alright guys, so here we go. We are getting underway for the formation lap. Alright guys, so as the guys do go around, remember this is Shanghai International Circuit, so it's for the Chinese Grand Prix. There are going to be 28 laps. Track has 16 turns and it's about 3.387 miles long. There's going to be 2 DRS zones, so pretty interesting to see how overtakes are going to work on those. There, one DRS zone is on that very long back straight. That's 1 kilometer long. So this is going to be one pretty interesting race. That back straight is going to show us who has a lot of straight line speed and who doesn't, coming down to the hairpin, and who can actually take that turn better. There's going to be some late braking, trying to outbrake their competitors in this race. Quite a few overtaking spots available. Turn 1 is always interesting though. It's going to be the most interesting turn to see at the start of this race, how the cars are going to handle on it. Because I'm quite sure some of the cars might be going wide. We're not sure as yet. But yeah guys, let's see how these guys do here. Alright guys, so the cars are getting back on the starting grid now as everyone lines up, and we will be ready to see those 5 lights go out and get on the way with the Chinese Grand Prix here for All Stars Racing F1 League. It's always so interesting how we can get a good view or angle here. So let's see how turn 1 goes guys. We're gonna maybe try and keep it between an overhead view and an onboard view for someone. And that's it, lights out guys, here we go. Let's see how turn 1 goes. Mistaken You does get a good battery is up with him. And this is going around turn 1, pretty interesting. Let's see, we got quite a few positions changing down at the back though. Battery comes out in front, Mistaken You in second, Irish in third. Oh, and Suitman gets up the fifth going, and that's a Red Bull almost losing it there. Oh, and a Ferrari gets hit off track. I think that was Jaydong trying to avoid it there as well. So there's going to be some damage on someone's Ferrari. I'm not sure. I think that was MX. Milan is already up into P9. How the heck did that happen? I'm not even sure as yet. Because remember, he did start all the way down at the back. Let's see how things are going out in front. This is Battery in the lead with Mistaken Youth just behind him. He's going to have to put some pretty good driving to keep Mistaken Youth behind of him right now. Going on to the long straight. Let's see who has more straight line speed. Oh, and someone is off track. I think that was Artness. And we have a virtual safety car before the end of lap 1, guys. We do have a virtual safety car happening. And that is Battery into the pits there. He might have taken some damage. Or he just taking an early pit stop. We're not sure as yet. Let's see what's going on with Battery here. We might not be able to see. Let's just have a look if he's having a wing change or not. He's going to lose a lot of positions here. Or maybe he has a drive-through penalty he's serving. No, he doesn't look like he's going in for a pit stop. He is doing a pit stop. And he has gone onto the hards. He might be going all the way to the end on those. Someone just got a drive-through penalty. Probably for speeding under the virtual safety car. We are back racing. Remember, guys, stats on screen are going to be a little bit wrong for just about a few laps here at least. We're not on lap 3 as yet, but the stuff in this game is still messed up. I don't know when Codemasters are going to fix that, but let's just have a look at cars going around. So this is the correct thing I believe happening here now. No, it switched again. Let's just give it a moment. It should be correct in just a second. This does look like it's correct though, I'm not sure as yet. Because showing Artness P1, Mistaken Youth P2, and Irish in P3. Looks more realistic, I guess. Okay, there we go. Now that looks correct. We're on lap 2. So that's Mistaken Youth in the lead, Irish in P2, and Liverpool chasing these guys down in P3. We got Superman coming down in P4. Let's see, where are the closest gaps right now? There is a close gap between CB and Trem right now. He's gonna get pretty close coming down to the hairpin here going. That's Mistaken Youth with the fastest lap so far in the session. It's only lap 3 going now. DRS has been enabled, so it will be available for use by the drivers. Irish is pretty close off to Mistaken Youth. This is going to be a pretty good battle going all the way down to the end of this race. Because these two guys have all been going at it since we began the season coming. And they had a pretty good battle last race at Vietnam. Fighting each other, just switching positions all the time. And that's Irish, who just took purple sector 1. And let's see if he can do that for the next 2 sectors and overtake Mistaken Youth. We do have Jaydong between 2 Ferraris right now. We have Milan, who just went up ahead of him. Oh, and they're going side by side going into that turn there. And Milan does have to hold back just a little bit. Jaydong doing a pretty good job keeping Milan behind of him. But this guy is pretty fast. So let's see how this is going to turn out going down to the end now. Yeah, it's good area. And we have another virtual safety car. Superman is out of the session, guys. Superman is out of the session. And there is his car on the left hand side of the screen going. So we are on for another virtual safety car. That's 2 VSCs within 4 laps, sorry. Pretty interesting race so far. We'll be going back to racing in just a second here. Mistaken you, drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Guys, you have to be careful here. Do not speed under the virtual safety car. Everyone does try to keep ahead as much as they can. It does result in that sometimes. We are back racing now. And that is MX up into P3 now, with Jaydong just behind his tail coming. I don't think Jaydong is going to let MX just take that so quickly. He is going to fight for that position. Pretty close gap between Irish and Mistaken Youth still. These guys are still going to be going at it. The rest of the field just pretty close together, going mostly here. We got B, who started down into the battle all the way up into P7 right now. So Milan is now down into P15. Probably got into a little bit of an incident with someone. They're just trying to gain positions as much as he could. CB up to P10 now. Pretty good on him for getting all the way up there. Trum as well got P11. Let's see how well these guys are going to... Oh, and that's a racing point trying to go for a move. We might have some position changing here. And that is Sadistic in the Williams. Everyone just trying to stay behind and trying to avoid damage there. As they do go through, we have a yellow sector 3. And that battle is going to continue going down into turn 1 coming here again. So a lot of these midfield cars pretty close together. And we still got MX chasing down Jaydong and not be able to get it done. Beer has gotten past Sadistic. Sadistic is going to try and get that back if he can. Let's see, he is pretty close to the rear of Beer's car. Let's see how he goes. T-Pound in the battle of the mix here as well, with the Red Bull of Night Shadow behind him going. That Red Bull is looking to get a pass right now. Let's see if Night Shadow can get this done or not. He also has Kenny in that McLaren just behind him. So this is going to be a pretty good battle going midfield right now. Battle out in front is just about a second between the two. There are leaders there. So that's going to be going for just a while more. But our midfield battle this week is going pretty well. Also a pretty close gap between CB and Trem right now. We got Liverpool all the way down to P13 here. Milan is just behind him, P14. He's going to be trying getting a position down. We got Night Shadow just gaining a position there as well, looks like. Irish with the fastest time in the session so far. As these guys come through, I think we have T-Pound just gaining another position there as well. Yeah, he did. And we might have an incident. Oh, MX is in the pits. So Beer is now up into P3. Sadistic goes P4. Night Shadow P5. Kenny is now P6. T-Pound P7. Mistaken you P8. Trem is P9. And CB just went up to P10. MX is going to be losing a lot of position coming out on this here. And that's Milan with the fastest lap time so far in the session. These guys are pretty close coming here. So a pretty decent race we had so far, guys. 2 VSCs with a few penalties handed out, some drive-through penalties handed out. Let's see how well that's going to affect everything coming down to the end of the race, though. So we still have Irish in P1 leading the race going down here. He's about 8 seconds clear of Jaydong. Now that's a pretty significant lead. That is not going to be easy for anyone to catch him up right now. We still have a lot of time, though. We're only on lap 6 of 28 right now. So quite a lot of time more to go. Oh, and that is Kenny just losing it just a little bit coming off that turn, going on to the long back straight. T-Pound now goes up to P6 because of his mistake. Mistaken Youth is P8 coming down behind of him, just 4 points. Oh, and that gap is breaking down so fast right now. It's up to 3.5 seconds now going. Night Shadow is pretty close to Sadistic going right now. Just about half a second is the gap between the two of them. Let's see how they're going to go in the next few corners. If Night Shadow can get past Sadistic, he is a pretty good driver. Then again, so is Night Shadow. Good job from T-Pang though, up into P6 right now, going. I think Milan is trying to work his way back up right now. He has Battery just about half a second behind him. Let's see how that fight is going on. And there we go. Battery is just right in front of him. But let's see if he can get a good rundown going to this turn coming up here. Or he's going to need DRS to get past on that long 1 kilometer long back straight.